it's Cherry coming to you live during COVID with our, what is this called?
Ultimate Home Guide?
The Ultimate Home Buying Guide or Home Selling Guide. I never do get that right. But I just wanted to show y'all that I'm being compliant and minding, but it's going down now. So you couldn't understand a word I said with that on, but aren't we in crazy times? I mean, never in a million years could anybody have imagined where we are today. And what it's done to our businesses, whether you're in the restaurant business or in the party business, or it just really is just crazy what we're living through. And people are really concerned, of course, about real estate and what it means to our real estate market during this time. So we thought today we'd take a few minutes just to tell you what we see happening and share with you some of the questions people are asking. And hopefully kind of give you an update on Bryan-College Station real estate market during COVID. Well, our market update, our last market update that went out, the market kind of slowed down really for about 6 weeks when all of this started, but we're really beginning to see it come back. Homes in certain price ranges are selling very quickly. In that 2 to 275 range, we're seeing even multiple offers. So to answer a lot of people's questions, is it a good time to buy or sell? It is. And of course the interest rates are holding out so beautifully. But so the market is getting back into full swing. You know, when this started, all of the real estate gurus, if you will, predicted this would be kind of like a V in our market, and that we started off really good the year, maybe 20% up from our market compared to the same time in 2019. Then we saw that dip when COVID hit. But now we're seeing it come back up again. So we are in that V, and we're on the upside of the V, which means we're coming out of what's happened to us. And we certainly hope that it'll continue to increase as the days go by. But the market, as I said, is getting back into full swing. Our average sales price year to date is $262,335, and the annual interest rate, the rates are at a historical low, even below 4%. So it is a good time. The values are holding and the interest rates are holding, and that makes for a great real estate market. So it is a good time to buy. A lot of sellers talking about selling has called us up and wanted to know, is it a good time, should you try to sell your home during this time of the coronavirus? And here's a few of the top questions that we've answered, and I'll just go over them very quickly. Can I sell my home during the COVID-19 pandemic? It's always based on a lot of figures and a lot of numbers and situations. But what we see happening is that the inventories are lower now than they have been before now. We don't see quite as many homes coming on the market. For a seller, that means that there's more buyers looking at their homes. That's that supply and demand. So where a lot of people have chosen not to try and sell their home during COVID, it is a good time, and people are still looking. And so to answer your question, yes, you can sell your home during COVID. And of course, there's a lot of things that go into that too that we will we'll go over with you. But with inventories low and interest rates low, that means it's a perfect storm for selling your home. So yes, the answer is, can I sell my home during COVID? Yes, you can. Is it safe to sell your home during an outbreak? We have taken so many and learned so much about how to safely show your home and protect you and your family, and also the health of the buyers that we're working with. We have very strict guidelines in which we go into a home. Who touches, we turn on all the light fixtures. We ask the buyers not to touch. We ask them not to touch any surfaces. If they want a door open, we open it. We're wearing our gloves. We're being extremely cautious. And then when we carry disinfectant wipes with us, we wipe down the doors and any light fixtures that we touch when we first get there. So we're taking extreme caution to protect you and your family and the buyers that are looking at your home. So are homes selling during COVID? Yes, they are. They are selling at a very fast pace, especially in certain price range. And should you sell your home during the recession, right now I see it as a perfect time because there are more buyers in the market than there are sellers. So it's a good time because we haven't, it's a seller's market again. We're almost entering a buyer's market in Bryan College Station in that there were more homes for buyers to choose from. Well, that's not the case now. Statistics tell you that if you have 6 months of inventory or greater, that it is a buyer's market, and 6 months or less of inventory is a seller's market. That's what we're experiencing now. We have a seller's market upon us. So it's good for a buyer because the interest rates are historically low, below 4%, and they're holding. And it's good for a seller because they've got more buyers looking at their homes. Well, you have competition if you sell your home right now. Not as much as you normally would this time of year. So there again, it's a good time to get your home on the market because there's not going to be as much competition out there. If you're buying a home, you're going to have competition. So because there's not as many homes for sale and because the interest rates are low, there's more buyers in the market. We have had a lot of people ask us, they seem to think that the values of the homes have gone down because of COVID, and we have not experienced that at all. We see our values holding. They may not be appreciating as quickly as much as they started off the first of the year, but our values are holding. We are not losing value. So you're not going to have to sell your house for less now. So as I said, the values are holding, and we do not see the values dropping at this time. How can I sell my home without a buyer's walkthrough? We understand that some sellers have high risk conditions and weakened immune systems, and they're real worried about people walking into their home. What we've been doing personally is we're going around and making videos of all of our listings. We normally do anyways, but we've tried to kind of step it up as far as our videos go so that the buyers will feel like they're walking through the home. And we can actually take our phones and through FaceTime walk through the home with the buyer, and they can tell us to back up or look here, so we don't really have to have a lot of people in your home. Ultimately, most buyers want to do that walkthrough, but we can schedule that at another time after we're under contract or at a time that's safe for you. So we have ways to get around to have lots of big groups of people in your home that would kind of scare you, that maybe you might catch something from somebody, but we have ways to work around that with technology today, with our increase in videos, and with the agents being able to use their phones, literally walking through with the buyers while they're talking to them. That really is a technology that allows us to virtually show your home. So we're virtually showing homes to buyers. Eventually they're going to want to walk through, but there again, we can protect you and them during that time. Should I stage my home? A lot of times if a home is occupied, the staging may just be decluttering. Just going through and getting rid of everything that you don't need, going through those closets and beginning to pack up. You're just that much further along if you start packing now and decluttering your home and making these spaces look bigger, because that's what people are wanting to see today. The clean lines, no clutter, everything kind of a blank mat. If your home has a lot of different colors in it, we may recommend a paint job. A lot of times what we do is just kind of walk through with you and make recommendations on what you need to take out to declutter, and if there are some improvements, where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. A lot of times we do virtual staging too. If it's an empty house and it's one of those homes where maybe the spaces aren't defined, then we can virtually have your home virtually staged, where we have a photographer actually place furniture in rooms to show what things look like. And we also, if a house is vacant, we kind of highlight the main areas of staging, like brighten up your bathrooms, your kitchens, put plants in, maybe a soft sitting space, or maybe like a dining table, just to kind of make it look lived in and not so stark, and show off those spaces that we feel like are the highlight of your home. So there are instances where virtual staging is recommended. Sometimes it's just decluttering, and sometimes we bring in stuff for you. So it's just what your home needs and what we think will do to highlight the space that you have. How do you prepare your home for a virtual tour? Just like you prepare it for a showing. You want everything light and bright. You want to turn on all the lights, the ceiling fans, put down the toilet lids, things like that. So you would prepare your home for a virtual tour just like you would for a regular walkthrough tour. And we actually have a list of items that we give to our sellers to consider. To if you have your basket, if you have your toiletries all strung out on the kitchen counter, we suggest you put them in a basket, and when you know someone's coming, you can just kind of tuck it under. You want those spaces clean and just clutter-free everywhere that you can. A lot of times people ask us, well, how can I sign paperwork without the fear of being, exposed? Well, we have DocuSign in which you can sign listing agreements. We can negotiate the contracts and get those contracts signed remotely. And you can get all your paperwork and all for the listing started, for buying the property and closing the property, or writing the contract. That's all done through DocuSign, which is modern technology that is accepted as it's acceptable by the title companies as signatures, so we don't have to have wet ones. We can use DocuSign for that. And we're also working very closely with our title companies in closing. And they're really not wanting us to come to the closings right now. They want to have as few people as they can inside the companies, but they also have where you can pull up and they come out to the car, they do their social distancing, hand you the paperwork you need to sign, and you never even get out of your car. So there's ways that you can literally close, because on a closing you do have to have wet signatures, meaning original signatures. So you do have to stand before or sit before, if that's the case in your car, so a notary, so that they can notarize your signatures. But they come out to your car and do their social distancing and get the signatures that they need for that. I think I've talked a lot about how we protect you, whether you're buying a home or selling a home, and the things that we'll do to protect you during that time. When we work with buyers, just a few things we're doing right now. We will create a list of the properties that fit your parameters. We'll do a video call with you for each phone. That's the Facebook thing I talked about. So as we get into those properties, as we're showing them to you, we'll show them to you as we're walking through with our phones. And that way we can do all different kinds of angles, and hopefully you'll feel like you're just right there. In working with sellers, I've set up several virtual listing appointments where we do it's called Zoom, and a lot of people have heard of Zoom, which never maybe have heard of it before. But it's me and you sitting talking, and I can hear you and you can see me, and vice versa. And we go through the numbers and talk about values, and then I'll take if we decide to move forward, then I'll come out and take a look at your home and make recommendations on what you might need to do to get it ready. And there again, the paperwork, don't be afraid you're going to have to go somewhere to sign that. We'll DocuSign it to you and sign everything electronically, so you'll be in good shape. Let me see. We did a little bit of research on the projected prices. Our home's going to continue to go up, and the answer to that, in our market, our homes have always gained value, even when the market fell out in 2008, when the rest of the country was depreciating by 10, 15, 20%. Bryan College Station stayed level. We did not appreciate, but we did not depreciate. So we've never had a market where our property values have depreciated, and we don't project that happening in the near future. The surveys that we've looked at says that the values are going to go up between 2020 and 2021 by 1%, and 21 to 22 up to 3%. Our annual appreciation rate for Bryan College Station is about 3 to 5%. So it's a little bit less than what we might expect, but it's that V coming back up again. Those values continuing to rise as we have seen them do in the past. Let me see. Interest rates are expected to stay as they are. As we've said, as you've heard many times before, this is the lowest rates we've had in 5 decades. In the 70s, and I was selling houses in the 70s, and remember this, the interest rate was 8.86%. In the 80s, it was 12.7%, and that was the average for the year. some of those rates got up to 15 and 16%, with solar paying 5 and 6 points. It was just the craziest time ever. In the 90s, the rates dropped back down to 8.12%. In the 2000s, the average was 6.29% in that decade, and 2010 is what we're living in now. It's 4.09%. So that is the lowest that they have been in 5 decades. So, you know, get off the fence. If you're thinking you're going to get a better interest rate, you're not going to get it then right now. They really expect them to stay good. And they're projected to stay good over the next 2 or 3 years through 21. The rates are supposed to, they're at 4 right now. They may even drop down the second quarter, the third quarter, and then the first quarter of 2021 to 3.7%. So what you've got is 4% right now, and they expect them to go down even just a little bit more, but not a lot, not enough to wait to sell your home or buy your home, if you will. I think I've talked about a lot. I don't know if there's anything I missed. Stephanie, is there anything you think I should cover? I feel like I've just been talking.
I think that's the gist of it. I know that you have a graph there of kind of what it looks like as an investment on how homes are, especially for people who are considering buying but not really sure. Just showing the confidence of the investments, I think is really good long term to take a look at.
Well, long term, the investments that they're looking at, that they're going to go up as much as that real estate is going to continue to increase anywhere from 14% to 34%. Well, that's what they've really done over the long term. Let me back that up. That since 2011, property values have gone up some 35%. So that really tells you how strong our market is and why it is still a good time. And when investors are deciding where to put their money, these are the numbers they looked at. So if you look at 2011, it went up between 14 and 17%. Between 2011 and 2013, then it jumped up another 21%, and as much as 35% since 2011. So our property values have gone up some 35% since that time, and we expect them to continue to go in that direction. So it's still a good investment, guys. Sellers, you don't got a lot of competition right now, so you need to get your house on the market. Let us come take a look at it, call you, talk to me about it, whatever you feel comfortable with. Buyers, you need to get out there and start looking. You got 4% interest rate, and real estate is still the soundest investment out there. And most investors will tell you, as they did some 15, 20 years ago, real estate is the soundest investment you can make. Whether it's your home and you're building for your future, for your kids' education, or building for your retirement, real estate is the investment to invest in. So let's get that home on the market. Buyers, let's get you a contract written, and let's protect our investments and buy real estate. Everybody stay safe, put your mask on, and let me see. I gotta get it right. And we'll see you next time. Good evening.